Okay guys, before I start this video, मेरे को पहले एम्बापे से माफ़ी मांगनी है भाई। कहाँ है एम्बापे? ये जो फर्स्ट हाफ में एम्बापे खेल रहा था और ये जो सेकंड हाफ में टर्न अप किया है भाई ने, आई थिंक समवन एल्स वाज प्लेइंग इन द फर्स्ट हाफ। निंजा टर्टल का मास्क लगा के कोई और खेल रहा था, एम्बापे नहीं था भाई ये। दैट बीइंग सेड, भाई kudos to France. I know they struggled in the first half, एंड आई नो सारी लाइमलाइट एम्बापे ले जाएगा, बट भाई माइकल ओलीस है, क्या प्लेयर है यार। एक चेंज किया डेशॉम्स ने हाफ पे, बस एक चेंज। ही स्वैप्ड डेम्बेले एंड ओलीसे। ओलीसे को फ्रीडम दे दी सेंटर ऑफ द पिच में घूमने की, और भाई क्या गैप्स एक्सप्लॉइट किए उसने सेनेगल के डिफेंस में। ओके वेट, विल कम बैक टू दैट। पहले चलते हैं, लेट्स सी हाउ फ्रांस lined up at the start of the match. 4-2-3-1 with, of course, Saliba, Upamecano, Kounde and Hernandez playing at back four. Then up front, double pivot, Chouameni and Rabiot with Doué on the left, Olise on the right, Dembele playing off of Mbappe. And Dembele struggled, honestly. And a lot of people saw this coming because आर्गुमेंट ये था कि एम्बापे को अकोमोडेट करने के लिए इन दैट नंबर 9 पोजीशन आप डेम्बेले को ऑफ पोजीशन खिला रहे हो, आप स्पेस नहीं दे रहे उसको चैनल्स में रन करने की। ही इज़ नॉट एबल टू ड्रैग द डिफेंडर्स विद हिम विच ही लाइक्स टू डू। प्लस आप डिफेंसिव ड्यूटीज़ दे रहे हो उसको बिकॉज यू ओनली गॉट 2 मिडफील्डर्स बिहाइंड हिम। तो ऑफकोर्स स्ट्रगल तो करना ही था। And not just Dembele in isolation, France as a whole struggled to progress the ball in the first half. They struggled to protect the centre backs because Senegal kept playing through balls. देखा होगा आपने जो काम बेसिकली फ्रांस सेकेंड हाफ में करके गई है, सेनेगल kept doing that in the first half. सार और जैक्सन, उनकी पेस मैनेज नहीं हो रही थी फ्रांस के डिफेंडर से, मिडफील्डर से। जितनी बार फ्रांस ने फर्स्ट हाफ में ट्राई किया टू बिल्ड थ्रू द मिडफील्ड, सेनेगल की फ्रंट लाइन अग्रेसिवली प्रेस करती थी एंड या तो एम्बापे बैट टच ले लेता है या कोई मिसप्लेस पास कर देता है, एंड देन यू सी ऑन द अदर एंड straight up counter. So Senegal all in all was very dangerous in transition, and I'll show you here also. यहाँ Doué passes the ball into Mbappe and see how quickly he's closed down. Mbappe, who actually is a very underrated midfielder by the way, closes him down, wins the ball, but then I think gives away a foul. Then here Saliba has the ball, and look how deep Olise and Dembele are, and he has no option available to him other than Chouameni really. Then he decides to go long over to Jules Kounde, who you can see standing on the right hand side at the top of your screen. बस एक चीज़ और हाईलाइट करूँगा before I move on. Look at Rabiot here. He's got both his hands in the air. पूछ रहे हैं कि भाई कवर कहाँ है, and you look at Dembele, he's got no clue where to be, and Rabiot is now confused. Do I close down, कि मैं मैन क्लोज डाउन करूँ, और शुड आई बी ब्लॉकिंग दोज पासिंग लेन्स बिकॉज देर आर रनर्स बिहाइंड हिम। सो या ओवरऑल कोई शेप स्ट्रक्चर कुछ मेंटेन नहीं किया फ्रांस ने फर्स्ट हाफ में, स्पेशली इन द मिडफील्ड, एंड ऑल ऑफ इट बॉइल्स डाउन टू डेम्बेले बीइंग प्लेड आउट ऑफ पोजीशन just to accommodate Mbappe. And one more thing to highlight here, not just Dembele, I think Theo Hernandez also had a really poor half, not just a half, a really poor game. Ismaila Sarr kept running behind him, kept going past him like he wasn't there, and he often needed help from या तो Saliba cover कर रहे थे या Upamecano cover कर रहे थे, who both of them I think had a really decent game. All in all, were really lucky that the first half finished nil-nil because Senegal clearly had better opportunities. Ismail Assar missed a sitter. Jackson ने एक बार post मारा which could have been a known goal. Keeper को लग के वापस अंदर जा सकती थी. But yeah, France were really lucky that it was nil-nil. And coming on to the second half now, where France were reminded that they're France and they've got quite some attacking options at their disposal. So in the second half came the, the biggest tactical turning point where जहाँ हमने discuss किया Deschamps decided to swap Olise and Dembele and Olise ran riots. Um, France found much more control. Olise centrally operate करने लग गए between the defense and the midfield of Senegal. He started seeing the whole pitch in front of him and he started seeing runners. And Mbappe, I'll give him some credit. His movement was so smart. He knew when to start his run, where those gaps were. And France started winning the ball high up the pitch. I think Mendy made a couple of tremendous saves. Easily 2-0 up जा सकते. I think Olise had a really clear chance. And then he created one for Mbappe. There was also a penalty call, which I think the right decision was made. I know there was contact, but I think it was too soft to be given. Then, let me see if I can pull that clip up. There was this moment where Olise on the half turn sent Idrissa Gueye to the shops. I mean, it would have been a wonderful assist अगर Mbappe तक वो ball पहुंच जाती. I think he just missed. Well, now coming on to the goals. What a moment of brilliance. You see how he's scanning where he can pass the ball to. Plus, मेरा सवाल सादियो माने से है. What are you doing here? क्या कर रहा है भाई? वर्ल्ड कप मैच है. You can't be taking a stroll in the park. Close him down. Idrissa Gueye, कोई होश नहीं है कहाँ है प्लेयर. Niakhaté is telling him to mark Dembele, but Niakhaté ये नहीं देख रहे उनके पीछे Mbappe is trying to make a run. So yeah, वही होता है. Niakhaté completely unaware and Koulibaly can't keep up with Mbappe, and Mbappe does what he does the best, score at World Cup games. He's getting closer and closer to close his record, and I'm pretty certain he'll beat the record this World Cup season. Then after that goal, I think 5 minutes बाद Senegal makes a couple of changes which I didn't really understand. मुझे नहीं समझ आया एनजाए को क्यों नहीं लेके अंदर आए एंड सार क्यों निकाला when he was so effective. Plus you're taking out Kamara as well. तुम midfield और weak कर रहे हो. So yeah, उसके बाद I think Rabiot started moving like Toni Kroos and he played a great ball to Barcola, who came in I think within a couple of minutes he scored. And if you noticed, Rabiot, just like how Toni Kroos hinted Vinicius Jr. where to run in that famous goal, I think very similarly Rabiot also pointed to Barcola कि भाई his direction में भाग. And yeah, easy finish, good finish I'd say. And then I think game was done and dusted there, and it was about अब यहाँ से या तो तुम goal difference protect कर लो अपना, or if you try and chase the game you can, but again I think it was too late. Although what a goal by the PSG youngster Mbappé, good goal, really good goal. And यहाँ भी who's at fault here? Theo Hernandez. He drops the shoulder, sits him down, and bang, what a banger. And from here on, it seemed like okay, that's the final scoreline. The game will end here. We are already in extra time. But Olise and Mbappe thought otherwise. Senegal fans were still celebrating and hoping for a comeback. इतनी देर में on the other end, Mbappe puts in another one. Olise drives past two players, is fouled. The ball goes to Mbappe. Ref plays the advantage, and bang. But I think यहाँ भी Nia Khate is at fault. You see his starting position when Olise receives the ball. He's not trying to play offside. I think उनके दिमाग में there's a fear that Mbappe is going to run past him again. So he's trying to maintain that distance जहाँ he's easily able to cover up. And even when Mbappe receives the ball, he's still not thinking to close him down. उनको अभी भी लग रहा है that Mbappe is going to drive forward. कोई चांस ही नहीं है शॉट लेने का. And the moment he realizes that Mbappe is going to drive one from distance, I think it's too late. Look at the position he's trying to make the block from. कहाँ start किया था और कहाँ finish कर रहे हैं. And in this case, I think keeper should be doing better. So yes, that was the story of the game. The result was excellent for France, but I don't think performance उनकी perfect थी. Teams could still look to exploit that midfield, especially teams like Germany, Spain, teams who have got these good midfielders जो long balls खेल सकते हैं, through the lines खेल सकते हैं. I think France will struggle against them, especially in this setup. If they try and bring in a third midfielder, I think that's where it solves the problem. But I think फिर आगे ऑफर करने के लिए बहुत कम होगा उनके पास. And don't even get me started what Yamal will do to Theo Hernandez if France has to face Spain at some point in the tournament. Although आगे भी यार they've got such good depth. अभी the Cherki came in very late from the bench. Barcola ने आते ही गोल मार दिया, so he could start a game here and there. Wherever it seems Due is not doing very well, Barcola can come in, especially against physical teams, because Barcola has that physical presence which Due lacks. Right, that was it for France. Mbappe is now on 14 goals. But by the time I've recorded this video, there's a certain someone called Leo Messi. He has gone on to score a World Cup hat-trick in the opening game for Argentina. I mean, who does that? It's out of this world, man. This guy, unreal. And would you believe it? He's turning 39 next week. But wait, मैं कुछ और भी discuss करना है from that game. Yes, about the very same player, that heinous foul. I mean, FIFA, what are you doing? How are you going to beat those allegations now? Throughout the tournament, इतनी अच्छी officiating रही है. Why would you go on and not? How can you say that's not a red card? Forget red. Yellow भी नहीं दिया यार उसे. So yeah, that was a questionable decision, and Messi made sure to make the most out of it. He saw Mbappe scoring 2 goals, moving further up on the all-time scoring chart. He was like, I'd like some of that, and moved on level with closer. अब मेसी एम्बापे की बात हो ही गई है तो मैं it's my duty that I also mention Erling Haaland. 2 goals in his very first World Cup game. Easy win for Norway. And now all eyes will be on you know who. We will be there. Yes, we will be there. We'll see Ronaldo कैसे perform करता है and how he answers back today. It'll be an exciting watch. But yeah, that's it for the video. Do subscribe, Do like if you liked what you saw, and I'll try and do some more analysis, hopefully before the next Brazil game. We'll analyze Brazil, Germany, Netherlands, all before they play again. So, yeah, keep an eye out. Thanks for watching.